Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rewind and Reflect, where we believe in the universal truth that there is no such thing as coincidence or mistakes. And we are here to share our experience on that subject with you. My name is Deb Miller.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Doyle. Look at us all
Yeah,
plugged in, but we're
all
so
plugged
like
in.
behind the times because we have the cord.
I
But
know, I like the cord.
I
Makes me
do
feel safe.
feel like we are a little advanced.
I know. Next, we got to get the actual headphones like the
And a
podcasters
big
have.
fuzzy microphone. How about
Yeah,
that?
exactly. Exactly. So before we get started, I want to ask our audience that, so we have a ton of people that are listening to us, and I am constantly hearing feedback from people that have listened to our podcast and, all great things. And we can tell by the stats, like how many people are listening, but we don't have a lot of subscribers. We need some subscribers on YouTube, because we're coming up on, it's going to be a
A
year coming
year.
up
So this
soon.
is episode 47.
Yeah.
So
So,
sometime right after probably Thanksgiving. No, maybe even right before Thanksgiving
right. Yeah. Because
is going to be a
52
full year.
weeks, a full weeks, and we've a full year,
Full
and we've
weeks.
full weeks, and we have, been really consistent with getting something on every week. So that's when it'll start to really kick in with iTunes, Apple iTunes and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we really want to try to get the message out to as many people. So if you could just subscribe, that would be amazing.
Yes, just go to YouTube, hit our channel, Rewind and Reflect, and it will give you a prompt that you can just you can subscribe. And you can
Yeah,
subscribe, and you can also, if you don't want to get the notifications when a new one's on, even though I don't really know why you wouldn't,
I
but
know.
you can hit that button where you don't get a notification, but you are still a subscriber.
Okay, good. Yeah. And then also hit like the little thumbs up, because that also will get more attention for the podcast.
Yeah.
And you and I, Sue, have, like, we discussed at the beginning, like, this is just a conversation between friends. It's like, we weren't
Mm-hmm.
looking to monetize it by any way, shape, or form. But if it happens, it happens, and that's great. And then
Right.
more people can be included, and whatever. So we'll just see. So if you could go to subscribe on YouTube, make sure you do Rewind and Reflect the Evolution of a Friendship, because there are a few Rewind and Reflects out there in addition to us. They
You'll
stole
see
our
a
name.
picture of us from about 44 years ago.
You can't miss it, because my head looks like it's going to fly off of my hair looks like it's going to fly off of my head with all the feathers in it. Like,
I do have to say that the profile picture is the majority of it is hair.
it is. Yeah. And your big your big blue eyes, you look
Oh my God,
adorable.
my face was so chubby back then. Like I had such a
No.
full face back then
Well, I know we all kind of morph into.
and very youthful looking. Oh my
Well, yeah, we
God.
were like 10. I don't know. I mean, I think we were like 14 or 15 in that picture, but
Yeah,
we were
I think we
youngins.
were. I was right in front of your slider on your house, at your
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, that brings me to kind of a conversation that I wanted to have today. Looking back, for whatever reason, the last couple of years have, I've been introduced to more friends from the past, right? Like
Hmm.
relationships, friendships that I, thought the door was kind of closed on, has reopened. And again, I always trust the universe. I always trust that whatever is happening, these people are being put in my life for a reason.
Hmm.
But sometimes the way that the relationship ended was painful. It was painful. And the way I look at it is, I'll have people say to me, and the reason why I'm talking about this right now is because I'm meeting a friend shortly for lunch. And this is a friend that I was very, very close with growing up. And when I started misusing substances, and I got, I was getting in, and when I say that I was getting in trouble, like I was getting in trouble with the law, but when I say I was getting in trouble, it means that I knew that I had a problem, and
Hmm.
I was scared to death. I did not know what to do, how to handle it, how to get help. I knew nothing. I didn't even know that it was a disease, or, it was just my own shortcomings that were causing me to abuse these pills. So anyways, during that time when I really was shying away from being around people, but people exited from my life very quickly. And these are people that I really thought I could lean on for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the people who are close to me and have been close to me throughout my recovery know how hurt I was by that whole situation and the loss of my friends. Well, now, it's been several years, 20 something years, and I've learned through the process of just A, maturing, but B, working the program that I'm in, that none of us are perfect human beings. We are all um we are all just growing and learning, and we make mistakes, and even we are all deserving of a second chance in life. Okay, no matter what you're
I
doing,
agree.
okay. But I have people who are like, well, why would you even revisit this situation? And it's like, so I look back, I don't carry any ill feelings. I know that the reasons, it's like a divorce. When you're going through a divorce and people start to like withdraw from you, it's because they don't understand it. They don't know what the feelings are. They don't think that they can help you. So they just withdraw. And some people do that. And that's just that's how they were made. And that's okay. I'm not a perfect person. I've let people down
Mm-hmm.
before, many times. And I would hope that they would grant me the grace and forgiveness so that, that can be put to peace and put to
Yeah, but
rest.
did that come easy to like the power of forgiveness, quote unquote, or the ability to forgive did not come easy for me.
Mm,
And the thing that I wrestle with is, okay, I forgive, you know, the action. You might not have known better at the time, or you didn't know what to do, or what have you. But I also don't ever forget. So, like going back into that pond, if you will, that
mhm,
that ring with that person, I'm guarded and
mhm.
skeptical. So am I really honestly forgiving them?
Well, it depends, okay? It depends if you're just in a situation now or even within the last year that's so close to you and you're still healing from all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's almost impossible to really forgive
Yeah, but don't
somebody.
you have to forgive to be able to close the circle on the healing?
Uh, yes and no. Like for instance, I feel like I closed the circle on healing and then was able to forgive because
Okay.
the healing that I needed, nobody was going to give to me. Like they weren't going to say, I'm sorry. I know that was a shitty thing to do, because people can say that and it still hurts. The situation still hurts. But through time and I guess spiritual, your
Mm-hmm.
spiritual strength, you can forgive without necessarily forgetting. But at this point in my life, for whatever reason, when I think of somebody that has hurt me or put me through something, I can't remember that feeling of pain that they caused, but I do remember the feeling that I felt with them prior to the incident. So this
So that is true forgiveness in that the circle of healing from that situation is completely closed, which is great, which is great. So what happens, which is great. I think, the other thing with forgiveness, but I also have a question, is, and we'll reference this podcast that I told you to listen to, next week. But, basically you have to forgive yourself first. You have to forgive yourself for the reaction. So typically, so if we refer to the 4 agreements, so you made this person's response to you you made it about you. Instead of saying, you took it personally, which is one of the 4 agreements to not take it personally.
Don't take it personally.
So I think what the beginning or within that forgiveness realm or process or whatever you want to call it is you having to forgive, or the person, you having to forgive themselves for the reaction to it. To then say, this wasn't about me. This was about, this is how they reacted to something that had to do with me.
That's right.
Or involved me. Then you can then I think you can forgive the other person or the situation or something like that,
Are we keeping you awake? Do you need a
I know, I'm
nappy
sorry.
poo?
I went back to teaching this week and
You've
I
been up
woke up at
early.
4:15 this morning.
Ugh, that is just disgusting. Well, no, I love what you're saying. Like, that person reacted to a behavior of mine.
Correct.
It didn't mean that they stopped
Right.
caring about me or loving
Right.
me, but the behavior that I exhibited was something that they A, couldn't understand, B, disagreed with, C, just whatever. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, it's not really your business.
Yeah.
But you made it your business and you made it about you, so you have to forgive yourself for veering off those 4 agreements, firstly. Then forgive, the incident, the situation, the whatever, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I guess, and that whole thing about, don't take it personally, that's really something that's hard to wrap your head around,
hard. So hard.
Yeah.
Yes, when you're feeling like it's you and this other person.
Yeah.
Like if you like, how can you not take it personally, right? It's like, well, there's nobody else in this equation.
I know.
So clearly it's about me.
But if you
there's
think
a difference between it being targeted towards you and making it yours. There's a difference.
Right. And I also have to think about, okay, so just picture like an argument that you have with your significant other. I'm either upset at a behavior of his, and he's upset at the way I'm reacting to that behavior.
Correct.
And so, or vice versa, he's upset with the behavior of mine, and I'm upset with the way he's reacting to it. And so it's never, if it was me personally as a human being, my spirit, if it was an attack on that, that would be personal, but it never really is.
If somebody is quote unquote, you're in an argument and they're attacking your behavior, and you make it that it's instead of like your person, yes, I totally understand that. And what we have a tendency to do, though, is make that about our person. Because we flip the script.
Yes. However, because when you're in an argument with somebody, you can make it about their person. Even though it started with the behavior about a discussion or a fight about a behavior, you can't, because at that point, you want to A, get your point across, B, say something that you feel that they will hear, and that's in order to get somebody's attention like that, it has to become a personal attribute, and to hurt them.
Correct.
To get their attention. But then, so what starts off as being upset about a behavior turns into a personal attack. That happens frequently. And that's when it's
Yes.
like you can't help but take it personally. You can't help but take that personally, but
Right.
you got to look at what started this whole thing. One of you was
Right.
unhappy with the other's behavior, not them as a person, but
Correct.
their behavior.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know,
So.
somebody, I think it was actually one of my yoga teachers summed this up so well for me, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher it, but it went something like this. Forgiveness is a gift that you give to yourself.
Mhm.
You are forgiving the person. You're not saying that you're not giving them permission
Right.
to do it again. And you're not saying that by forgiving them, you're not saying that it was okay for them to do that.
Yeah. Or
What
that
you're
you're
doing,
accepting that
correct, what
outcome.
you're
Right.
doing is you're freeing yourself
Mm-hmm.
from carrying that toxic dialogue
Mm-hmm.
with you any longer.
Mm-hmm.
So it truly is, forgiveness truly is a gift you give to yourself. It's like, somebody else put it this way. It's like holding a hot potato and thinking it and expecting it to burn somebody else.
Yeah. Or drinking poison and expecting them to die from it. That's all about having resentment. You holding on to a resentment, and that only hurts you.
Right, but
I read something. Yeah,
when you
I read.
forgive, you let go of that.
That's right. Because I can guarantee you the person that you're upset with or have a resentment is not thinking anything about you. And I just read this thing today, this little meme that said, um, just imagine you're hating on me and all I'm doing here is sharing a cheese stick with my dog. Like they're
Correct.
just
Correct.
like,
Correct.
and
Because the person, that you are forgiving has completely moved on from
oh
this,
yeah,
whatever happened, right? And so you really are bestowing a gift on yourself by forgiving them and yourself. You have to forgive yourself. I mean, even if it's as simple as forgiving yourself for holding on to it for so long.
yeah. I have a
It's
situation that
powerful.
that I'm still holding on to, and I'll share it. So Hunt, many of you know that Hunter is an amputee, and when he went to college, his second year, he had fallen asleep in a weird position on his arm and woke up and his arm was numb. And that happens to a lot of us, and then it comes back, whatever, whatever. Well, he was sleeping on it for so long that it didn't come back for weeks and weeks. And so here he is with his amputated leg that he had just had surgery on, so he couldn't use his prosthetic. So he's got one leg, he's on his crutches, and his right hand, which is his prominent hand, is not working at all. He can't lift it, he can't do anything with it. So he was in quite a bit of a predicament. So after many doctor's visits, the neurologist said, I'm going to send you for a test where what we do is we poke at the nerve, we measure it and see how far up the damage is, and then we can tell you how long it's going to take to heal. And so we thought, oh, great. There's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. We'll know how much longer he has to wait for his feeling to come back. And, we're sitting there getting this test done. And I was with him and he was talking in front of the doctor and he said, I would so much rather have lost a leg than lost an arm because living without the use of an arm is so difficult. Like, thank God I'm getting my arm back, or else, that would be really, really hard. I don't think I'd be able to make it, and I was like, yeah, well, thank God we don't have to worry about that. Well, this doctor, after the test was done, she should have given the results back to our primary neurologist where she would have reviewed it. But instead, she told us at that day in that time that he was never going to get use of his arm back again. And we were, what? And I was like, and he just
Lost it.
lost it beyond, like, absolutely. It was like everything that had been building up in him and everything he was trying to fight against, he just gave up. And it was the first time that I ever I mean, he had been through the ringer up to this point, but it was the first time I thought we're at risk of him like taking his life. And I said to the doctor, I looked at her, I mouthed, just give him some hope. And she said, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. And after that point, I can't even tell you how devastating that was and how scared I was for him. Fast forward, within a week of my dad flew in, we were keeping eagle eye on Hunter. And within a week, we had been up at special surgery for special, what is it called? New York City. Hospital for Special Surgery.
Okay.
And they did tests on him. And these are doctors who like perform on all of the major sports people and everything. And the athletic people, as you would say. And so they were able to diagnose that he did in fact have they felt the nerves, you know, they knew the nerves were alive still, and that feeling would in fact come back. And guess what? Even if it didn't, there's a surgery that could come, that they could do, that they've done on many sports people, basketball players, baseball players that are out there still playing. I was like, oh, thank God. And sure enough, feeling came back within a week. Even telling the story makes me so angry at that doctor at UConn that it just, I thought we were inches away from him. And so it took me a long time I think, I don't know. I guess I still struggle with it because I'm like, how could you do that? But anyways.
Yeah, so here's what I'm going to say. You can forgive her and still not understand why she, still it's not yours. It's not a problem for you to solve why she did it.
Yeah.
It's not. It is yours to let go of and forgive that she made you feel that way.
More so made my son feel that way.
Which in turn made you feel that. Yeah, of course.
I don't, you're right. And like I started off saying, like, nobody's perfect,
and
people
you're not
make
saying
mistakes.
Exactly. And you're not saying that she didn't, you're not giving her permission to be at fault here, right? You're just not allowing yourself to live through that lens of fault.
Right.
Because you also see that everything worked out okay. It was a blip on the radar screen. So, by holding on to it and not forgiving her, you have a little a weight about it on you.
I know. And so much happens in our lives that we don't have control of, especially like with the medical industry, mistakes people make mistakes all the time.
Doctors are human.
Yeah.
Doctors are human.
I mean, have you seen the new Ozzy Osbourne movie that's out? Okay.
No.
It's not a movie. It's like on I don't know, it's like a documentary. And man, there is one surgeon that literally ruined his life. And when you hear about how bad it was, and you think, this is somebody who has all of the resources to have the best of the best, and the surgeon screwed him up in the worst way. you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, and it's just like, okay, but what are you going to do? It's done.
Yeah.
It's
Again, like,
over.
so no amount of money can absolve you of
Yeah.
being resentful. No
Right.
amount of money can absolve you from having to take the steps to practice forgiveness.
Yeah.
No amount of money can absolve you from, these human mistakes, being the recipient of
Yeah.
them, and or fame or fortune or any of that. I mean, it's just, the process is just a human process.
Right. And I'm looking at this and all of these things that keep coming, these people that keep coming into my life is like, I can hold on to like the hell no, I'm not going to let you back
Yeah.
into my life, but I'm going to be missing out on a
Yeah.
like a beautiful relationship like you and I have now.
Right. And
It's
the other
like,
thing too is you can, you want people to see the how you've changed, how you've turned things around. We have to give the same grace.
right. Absolutely.
We want people to forgive us for being human. We need to give them the same grace that they're human. And they reacted poorly, as did I, and here you go.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're doing the best we can in this life,
Amen.
and for us to get into a place spiritually where we have to understand, people
Right.
are not perfect and
Right.
nor do we want them to be, because if we went through life with all the good things only, we would never
Mm-hmm.
know the darkness, and then we would never really know the light.
Right. Right.
You need it both. You
Yeah.
need it both.
Yeah, so I mean, here's a perfect opportunity to ask people, to write us at rewind and reflect with us at gmail.com and say, like, are you having trouble
Letting go or forgiving
letting
somebody.
go or practicing forgiveness to somebody or about somebody or a situation? And, what is that? And,
Yeah.
or have you had an opportunity to practice forgiveness? And how did it result? What it resulted in it? How did it make you feel? I mean, I can tell you this. When I have done that and came from a space of when I finally realized that by forgiving somebody, was not giving them permission or absolving them of their actions or the negativity of their actions. What I was doing is I was gifting a myself with less weight around it. Total game changer for me.
Yeah. Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Resentments will sink you every time holding a resentment, but,
Mm-hmm.
forgiving and just like finding peace in the
Yeah.
situation will change you too.
Yeah. So
So
practice forgiveness. Everybody's
practice
human.
forgiveness. Yes,
Let's give each
indeed.
other a little bit more grace when it comes to that. And life would be like the world would be a little bit better.
Yeah. I just want to do one plug since I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And Sue, you don't even know this, but my new brand spanking new bright and shiny website went live yesterday.
Nice. So
Yes.
it is, what does the World
www
Wide Web address?
www.deblawlessmiller.com. No hyphen, no nothing. I know it's a
Okay.
lot. It's a mouthful, but I had to
All
do it
right.
for my book, so
Okay.
deblawlessmiller.com. So take a look, see, and let me know if you find something on there that's not making sense, or we're still in the process of kind of getting through the kinks of it all. But
All right, everybody. We all have an assignment.
yes. Well, the
Better get
first
on that
assignment is to
assignment.
subscribe to us.
Yes, second
Then,
assignment. That
yeah.
was, yeah, second assignment. First, we got,
Mm-hmm.
one class. So this is class number 2 that we have homework for. I think that's enough for us
Yes, I think so
right
too.
now.
All right, everybody. Namaste.
All
Have a
right. So
beautiful week.
deblawlessmiller.com, rewind and reflect with us at Gmail. Love you all.
Love you too. Talk soon. Namaste, everybody.
Bye.